Welcome to the 2017 MSHA Football Instructional and Training video. I'm Kenny Seifert, the Coordinator of Football Officiating. It is my pleasure to serve the game of football and work with the officiating community. During this instructional video, we will review key plays from this past season, and we will look at how the new rules or interpretations will impact how the game is officiated. I am responsible for the script and the plays selected in this video. Please note, no attempt was made to embarrass any institution, coach, student-athlete, or official. These clips are being used for the purpose of making officiating better. The goal of this instructional video is to develop a style of officiating that will result in consistent enforcement of the rules during the regular and postseason play. It is all of the stakeholders' desire to have the same play officiated the same way, no matter what conference, league, or geographic area of the state the game is located. We will continue this effort throughout the season with periodic video bulletins sent to all football officials and coaches via email and also posted on the MSHA website. I hope that you will make it a habit to review those video bulletins regularly and often. It is very important to me to begin this instructional video by acknowledging and congratulating all officials, mechanic clinicians, rules interpreters, and observers on a job well done last season. Thank you for your efforts to improve the game that we all love. Also, I want to personally thank the Football Video Committee for their time, compassion, and expertise in making these videos a possibility. In its continuing effort to minimize risk, the NFHS Football Rules Committee adopted several rules aimed at eliminating illegal contact. The committee met January 20th to 22nd in Indianapolis. The changes were subsequently approved by the NFHS Board of Directors. Some of these changes will be presented in the video clips during the course of this season. Lastly, I would like to share with you some football officiating philosophy. While a thorough knowledge of the rules is important, it is not enough to guarantee the competency of an official. There are other attributes which are equally important. Officials must possess a combination of these if they are to fulfill their duties adequately. In addition to a complete mastery of the rules, officials must have a good knowledge of human nature and the ability to control situations as they arise. Officials must have a football sense which supersedes the technical application of the rules so that the game goes smoothly. Officials are expected to exercise good judgment in applying these rules. In our video today, we are going to focus on the defenseless player and the blindside block. A defenseless player is a player who, because of his physical positioning and focus of concentration, is especially vulnerable to injury. When in doubt as to whether the player was defenseless or not, just remember the player is defenseless. There are 8 examples given in the NFHS rulebook of defenseless players, along with several descriptions on the MSHA Online Rules Review. Please accept your responsibility to master the rules and study them. A blindside block is a block outside of the free blocking zone against an opponent other than the runner who does not see the blocker approaching. Any blindside block with forceful contact initiated without using and leading with the open hands is illegal. The key is the open hands. If a blocker leads with open hands, even if the contact is forceful, it is a legal block. Using open hands will instinctively soften the impact that is being made on these types of hits. Remember, risk minimization is the ultimate goal. In clip number 1, once the receiver catches the pass in the open field and begins to advance the ball by running, you will notice that the 2 defensive players in red, number 16 and 18, have 100% of their focus and attention on the ball carrier. Because of their concentration, both of these players are vulnerable to injury, which means that they fall under the defenseless category. Player A14 initiates an illegal blindside block. Forceful contact was initiated without using open hands. Had this player led with open hands, this would have been a legal block even though the contact was forceful. The indicators to look for on these types of plays is the player who is swimming or running upstream as A14. Anytime a player is running in the opposite direction of the other players, it has the potential for these types of forceful collisions. This play is a little different in that it developed up the middle of the field and did not have the breakaway runner down the sideline that many plays of this nature does. As you watch K36 in white ease up or decelerate as he is focused on the ball carrier, R14 in blue forcefully contacts 36 in white without attempting to use his open hands. In addition, 14 in blue leaves his feet and launches himself into 36. This meets every description and definition of a blindside block on a defenseless player. Outstanding job by the officiating crew on recognizing this illegal block. We get the luxury of witnessing 3 different blocks in clip number 3. The first block, by 75 in red, appears to be a legal block, as it looks like he leads with his open hands. The second block is very interesting. When the quarterback initially changes direction and begins his run in the open field around the 30-yard line, you will see a block by 51 in red at the 28-yard line. You can tell by the initial reaction of the player in white that he was trying to avoid the hit, which means he was aware and could see 51 in red coming. This is not a blindside block, simply because the player is not a defenseless player. However, upon closer observation, you should notice that 51 in red struck his opponent above the shoulders as he was leading with his helmet. This would be penalized as a personal foul. The blindside block is the third play that occurs down the sideline at the 47-yard line, as no attempt was made to use open hands, and the opponent's focus and concentration lends him completely unable to identify the oncoming blocker. In clip number 4, watch very closely at the difficulty of this play. It is debatable whether the defensive player has the ability to make a play on the ball, considering he was 3 yards behind the ball carrier when he was blocked. The blocker did initiate the forceful contact with his shoulder instead of his open hands, so let's consider the elements of this play that should help us arrive at the correct conclusion. Was the defensive player out of the play? Debatable. Was the defensive player in the immediate vicinity? Also debatable. Did the defensive player's physical positioning and focus of concentration make him vulnerable to injury? Yes. Did the defensive player see the blocker approaching? No. Did the blocker initiate forceful contact with open hands? No. Unless initiated with open hands, it is a foul for excessive and unnecessary contact when the block is forceful and outside of the free blocking zone. By definition, this is a blindside block. Player safety and risk minimization is at the forefront of our officiating minds. Clip number 5. In years past, this hit was celebrated. Not any longer. Had the blocker led with open hands, this would have been a legal block. However, with the new rules and interpretations, this is illegal. Always watch for the players running or swimming upstream. From this point moving forward, it is imperative that we adjudicate the rules as they are written, and we make sure that all blocks are legal. Remember, if you are in doubt as to whether a player is defenseless or not, he is defenseless. I want to wish each and every one of you the very best of luck this upcoming season. Let's start off the 2017 season with great effort, great teamwork, and most importantly, a great attitude. We truly are lucky to be able to do what we do.